Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Milind Peshwe, professor at AISSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune. Today we are going to discuss about kitchen layout and design. We will talk about different aspects that you need to consider while designing a commercial kitchen. As we all know, kitchen layout and designing has become very important in today's world, especially for commercial kitchens. The reason behind that is that a well-designed kitchen stays forever with the property, and it has a lot of impact on the productivity of the particular kitchen. So today we are going to talk about some principles of kitchen layout, and we are going to talk about certain factors that affect kitchen layout and design. So let's begin with the principles of kitchen layout and design. We all know that any kitchen layout or design should be based on the following principles. So let's understand what the principles are. First and foremost, it should provide a smooth workflow. Layout should be compatible with the flow of activities. There are various activities that needs to be performed in the kitchen, right from receiving, storing of ingredients, preparation, actual cooking. Then the products need to be held at a particular temperature, and finally the products need to be served. And sometimes we need to the silverware comes to the kitchen back for wash up, or you need to wash up your kitchen utensils. So it should have a smooth workflow in the kitchen. It should avoid congestions at work areas. We all know that good chefs do not like to work in crowded areas. We need to have our own comfortable work areas. And that is the reason a well-designed kitchen should provide that comfortable workspace for the chefs. Chefs are creative people and they need to have their space. They need to have their good workspace. And that is the reason sufficient space allocation for the movement of staff needs to be provided by the kitchen design. It should provide a comfortable work environment. What do you mean by comfortable work environment? Nobody would want to work in kitchens which are stuffy, which are hot. So you need to have a good ventilation and a good temperature control in the kitchen. Ventilation not only means that you should have a good fresh air, but there also has to be the exhaust of fumes from the kitchen. A good ventilation means circulation of fresh air and removal of the hot air. And it should have a good temperature control. You would not want your kitchen to be sweaty. You would not want to sweat in your kitchen. So you need to have a proper ventilation and temperature control. The flooring, the ceilings, the wall, the doors, the windows, the illumination and decor has to be just apt. You would not want to walk on slippery floors, especially on the busy hours of the kitchen. You should not want to look at the thatched walls. The doors of the kitchen should be wide enough to take your equipment. If at all windows are there, you should not want them to be a hindrance in your operations. Illumination and decor is very important. You would not want to work in shady kitchens. You would not want to work in dark kitchens. You would want to work in a well-lit kitchen. And that is the reason a comfortable work environment is very much essential. It should facilitate maintenance of highest level of safety and hygiene, and of course, sanitation. When you place your equipment in the kitchen design, you need to ensure that these equipments are very easy to clean, especially the back areas of the equipment. If at all you have kept the equipment in the corner of the kitchen and you do not have access to the deep areas of that corner, then probably you would get discouraged in cleaning that. So you need to ensure that your kitchen design provides or facilitates good cleaning of the entire area. Proper planning of plumbing, drainage, gas piping, electrical fixtures, etc. has to happen. Plumbing and drainage things are things that has to be done before the operation begins. You cannot you cannot change these things after you realize that this is not good. So it has to be well planned in your kitchen. These were a few principles or the importance of kitchen layout and design. Now let's understand what is the information that you need before you start planning a kitchen. You would want to know what type of meal is to be offered. For example, are you planning to develop a kitchen for all day dining? Or you're planning to develop a kitchen for a specialty restaurant which would be only serving lunches and dinners? Or you're planning to develop a kitchen for a coffee shop which is going to be 24/7. So you need to know what type of meal is to be offered. Again, at that particular point of time, you would also want to know whether it is going to be an a la carte service, or it is going to be a TDS service, or it is going to be a buffet service. Most important, number of packs that has to be served. For example, you have a cover the restaurant covers as 100 covers, then you need to have a sufficiently large kitchen to cater to a clientele of 100. If you have a small kitchen and you have to cater to a big clientele, it would be virtually impossible. Type of service, whether it is going to be a self-service, whether it is going to be kind of a cafeteria service, or it is going to be a silver service. It all depends because your staffing changes, your plating changes, your kitchen operation completely changes. So you need to consider what type of service you're planning to deliver from that kitchen. When will these meals be required? What time of the day? Like I said, whether it is going to be all day meal, whether it is going to be 24 by 7, or whether it is going to be just during lunches and dinners. What is the cover turnover time? Cover turnover time typically means what is the service time that a guest is going to be served and the cover is going to be turned over. For example, for a coffee shop, the cover turnover time is much higher because in an hour, one particular cover could be occupied by 4 people, by 4 different guests. But in a relaxed restaurant, in a specialty restaurant especially, the guest might want to stay on the table for maybe a couple of hours. So there the cover turnover time is less. So the more the cover turnover time, the more the activities that would happen in the kitchen and the apt the design should be. Area requirement, what is the area that you require for the kitchen? For example, you want to know that how much area should I allocate for the kitchen whereby I can serve about 100 covers. So you should know exactly what is the area requirement for the kitchen. You should know the positioning of windows, the ventilation, the drainage, and water supply, etc. Because these are already planned in your building design. So you have to know the exact positioning of all these before you plan the kitchen design. You need to know what are the constraints of electricity and gas, etc. For example, there are certain buildings in which gas is not allowed. So you cannot plan for gas ranges. Then you need to plan for an alternative energy source. There are certain buildings wherein a certain type of electricity, for example, steam, which is used as a fuel, is not allowed. So there you will have to completely depend on electrical supply. So you need to know the constraints of that particular building, provision of electricity, provision of gas, or various other utilities. Now, once we have understood what is the basic information that you need to have before before you start planning your kitchen, we need to understand what are the various factors that affect kitchen design. Let's come to the first and the foremost and the most important of them all, availability of catering finance. You cannot dream big with empty pockets. You need to have sufficient allocation of funds before you plan the kitchen. So whatever money you have at disposal has a great impact on how you're going to design your kitchen. Availability of space. You cannot create spaces. You need to have the space available. You would want to have a lavish kitchen, but if you do not have that particular space, you really cannot design a spacious kitchen. So availability of space is one of the important factors that affect kitchen design. Availability of staff. How many staff are really going to work in that particular kitchen? Whether it's going to be 5, 10, 20, 50. So based on that, you need to design your kitchen. Skills level of the staff. All the staff would not be equally skilled. There would be certain staff who are good at manual work. There would be certain staff who are good at automized machines. Based on that, you need to design a kitchen. You would not want to give high-tech equipment for the people who are not comfortable working with them. So you need to think about the skills level of staff. And based on that, you need to go ahead with your kitchen design. Flow of work, a very important aspect to consider, because what is the workflow of that particular kitchen? What are the various activities that the employees are going to perform in that particular kitchen? It would start from receiving of your ingredients and finally it would end at service of the final products. So you need to identify the various flow of activities that are going to be performed in that particular kitchen and accordingly design your kitchen. Placement of equipment. Where do you want to place your equipment? Which is the most ideal position to place the equipment? How do you want to place the equipment? Do you want to place them wall flush or do you want to have an island kind of a system? Based on the workflow and based on the skills level of staff and based on the space that you have, you need to decide it in the kitchen design. Restrictions on building services. Like mentioned earlier, there would be a few restrictions on building services, utilities. Where does the drainage come from? How does it flow into that particular kitchen? Where do you get water from? Where do you get electrical supply from? All these things you have to consider before you start designing the kitchen. What are the various areas that you need to allocate in the kitchen? It does happen sometime that you should know how many people are going to be involved in the kitchen. What are the various activities that are going to be performed in the kitchen? This is a typical allocation of various activities that happen in the kitchen. So if you talk about the kitchen area, roughly about 12% should be allocated for the movement of staff. Roughly about 23% of the kitchen area, which is a large number, but it should be allocated for service or any activities pertaining to service of the final product. Roughly about 12% should be allocated to preparation of the products. It may be washing, cleaning, chopping of the raw material. About 18% should be allocated for storage of products. All these raw materials need to be stored in the kitchen. So 18% of the area should be allocated for storage of the kitchen. Roughly about 12% area should be allocated to wash up. It could be wash up of the kitchen utensils or anything else. And about 23% for actual cooking. So if you actually see this kitchen area, just about 23% actual cooking happens, and the rest of the area is allocated for different various activities. So this is a typical thumb rule that you could follow in designing of the kitchen, especially when you have to allocate areas. Based on the previous thing, just assume that the kitchen area is about 2,000 square feet. In that case, you will require about 200 square feet for the staff to move on. You would require about 400 square feet for the service guys to move on and for the service gear to be kept in the kitchen. You would require about 300 square feet for preparation of the raw material in the kitchen. You would require about 400 square feet for storage of raw material or equipment in the kitchen. You would require about 200 square feet for the wash up, that includes everything, and roughly about 500 square feet for actual cooking. So this would be a typical allocation of area if your kitchen is 2,000 square feet. Now we're going to have a look at a video of an award-winning kitchen. So let's begin the video and enjoy it.
The central kitchen in the iconic Café Royal produces high-quality food served around the clock to its restaurants and bars, lounge, grill room, banqueting suite, staff cafeteria, as well as its popular Regent Street pastry shop. The contract entailed a complete rip-out of the old kitchen, and a feature of the new design was the streamlined installation of all the services concealed inside panelled chambers and risers. Fire suppressant systems are installed in all the cooker hoods, and all the services can be shut off instantly from emergency switches around the kitchen. All the services and power consumption is managed and controlled by an electronic system fed back to a control panel in the chef's office. This in turn is linked to his computer, and he can even keep his eye on the system from his mobile phone. All the refrigerators and cold rooms, which run on a central CO2 system, are also wired back electronically for management and temperature monitoring. Control of the working environment is important, particularly in preparation areas where the product can be affected by warmth. Here in the confectionery kitchen, for example, air conditioning is installed. The extraction canopies feature a dual-flow air system. The installation is complemented with extensive precision stainless steel fabrication to the highest of engineering and hygiene standards.
We're delighted with CNC Catering and the work they've done here at Café Royal. We believe they're well-deserving winners of the 2013 Cedar Grand Prix Award. Congratulations on really well done.
Wow, isn't it an amazing kitchen to work in? Something like a dream kitchen. Okay, so now we come to the end of this particular educational video. I hope you have learned a few principles of kitchen planning and designing, and you have understood the various factors that affect kitchen designing. So thank you so much for watching this video, and keep watching such educational video from Milind Peshwe. I take your leave now. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you.